suckers know my name, but I just gotta fight the fight. They love to play those dirty games. From the dark will come a light. Look out, I'm coming. Look out, I'm a dangerous man. Shaking like the Holy Ghost. Better run and be afraid. They tremble when they hear my voice. I knew there would come a day. They say that I'm a wanted man. They got a bounty on my head. They're drawing lines up in the sand, but I'll rise up from the dead. Look out, I'm a trouble man. Look out, I'm a dangerous man. Yeah. Oh, I'm a dangerous man. Yeah. Oh, I will survive. I'll stand and fight. Better run and hide. 'Cause I'm a dangerous man. Look out, I'm coming. Look out, look out, I'm a trouble man. Look out, I'm a dangerous man. Oh, I'm a dangerous man. Oh, I'm a dangerous man. I will survive. I'll stand and fight. Better run and hide. 'Cause I'm a dangerous man. I will survive. Gonna stand and fight. Oh, 'cause I'm a dangerous man.
Happy Saturday, February 11th, 2023. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a... Yes, that's right. Another Chinese spy balloon. We're going to talk about it. I think this makes 3 in 10 days. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit. What's up, buddy? I know we had a packed show last night, just talking about the multitude of national news items that a lot of people were unaware of. I got some positive feedback. A lot of people are just too busy to really keep up with the crap in the news and the news cycle. So I got some thanks from several people today about bringing that up and bringing up these congressional hearings, which were related to the Twitter files and stuff, and just pointing people in kind of appropriate directions to kind of consume the information that they felt was, interesting to them. And once again, here we are again tonight. I think we had just talked about the Chinese spy vehicle that was shot down over Alaska last night. Yesterday, actually, was when it took place. But there's another instance today of the U.S. military shooting down yet another one of these. I mean, at what point do we just, have to call a spade a spade? We said it last night. If you're doing business, if you're an American business and you're doing business with this country that's sending, I don't know, a swarm of balloons and intelligence gathering stuff over our national airspace, you might want to rethink that business model, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you 110%. I mean, this is bordering ridiculous,
It really is.
Again, we had a discussion before. Once they enter our airspace, that's an act of aggression, man.
It is.
You know, it's just that simple.
Well, and they've done it multiple times in a 10-day period. So that's what's even more concerning.
Well, we're not. Listen, there are president's been leading from behind. You know, they can smell that. These guys.
He's been
These
leading from
guys are
Baskin Robbins,
sharks.
bro. He's been for reals.
Yeah, you know what? I wrapped up last night, and man, my head was just out of it. I was just like, I know people are just blown away and frustrated, but man, it's just overwhelming. It is absolutely overwhelming. And you know, I put some music on before I went to bed last night, and Bob Marley comes on, and I'm listening to it, and I'm just relaxing, but thinking about everything that's going on, man. We always talk about music and stuff. It brings people together.
It does.
Then I thought about Bob Marley, what he said, light up the darkness, man. Light up the darkness. And I feel that's what we're doing, man. We're pointing out these bad things that are going on. We want people to be aware of this.
Yeah.
You know?
We don't want people to be scared of it either. We want you to put your faith over your fear and actually, be educated enough to realize when it goes down, there's going to be a couple of types of people, right? There's going to be the people who are fearful and running amok, panicky and all that. And there's going to be the clear-headed person that says, okay, let's assess the situation and figure out what to do from here, right?
Right.
And you got to hope and pray that, that this is just incompetence and it's not by design. I'm saying incompetence at almost every level of any government agency at this point, right? To allow this to happen this frequently, for them to sit there and say that, I don't know, Trump having a hotel somewhere was a matter of national security, right? That's why,
right.
and use that. But I mean, like you look at everything that's coming out with the laptop and these hearings, and the suppression and the fact that the FBI had the information prior to it getting dumped out by, I think it was the New York Post, who initially broke that story and then had their Twitter account suspended and locked out, right?
Right.
But it's like if it was really a matter of national security, then those rules would equally apply. So I have a tendency to think that this isn't incompetence. This is a group of people who are set out to do bad things. It's a bad acting group.
Yep.
And I don't know what the remedy is to that when it's this embedded in every organization that we as the common American person wants to trust, right? We rely on these services. We rely on our police services and our fire services and our communications company to do the right thing, and our petroleum and our energy companies to do the right thing. But and your Department of Justice, you rely on them to do the right thing, right? And it's just like, at what point do you just say, man, like, we got a problem, and we have to be adults, and we have to say, there's a problem, y'all. There's a problem. If you can't acknowledge that there's a problem, then you ain't taking the words from Bob Marley himself, right? And that's light up the dark, bro.
Yeah.
Not light up in the dark, light up the dark. Okay, there's two different, Somebody's like, I'm doing a Bob Marley over here, man.
Well, I like Bob Marley a lot, and a lot of stuff that he says in his music resonates with me.
It does.
When he was shot in his hometown in Jamaica, and I think in the chest and the arm, and some of his family members and friends were shot too, and some of them died. And he was determined to go and play his music. And they said, "What are you crazy?" And he said, "The people who are trying to make this world worse are not taking a day off. Why should I?"
Right.
And you think about that. This is a guy they tried to assassinate him.
Yep.
And he goes on the stage and continues to play 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's just
a phenomenal
amazing.
artist too, man. I mean, he was way before his times.
Yeah. There's no doubt.
Spitting truth, man. And I mean, like, One of my favorite songs by him is was it the Three Little Birds, man? Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing's gonna be all right, right?
Yep.
It's about just basically, in my mind, it's about just you know capturing and seizing the day and realizing, man, you got to be thankful for just even being here in this day, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You learn to appreciate things like that. And I think music, like I said, it brings people together. It's the communication for the world, man.
Yeah, I'm a
That's what
musical. I love music. Is like, I don't know. I love music. Music just it's like everything to me. I love it, man.
I'm
So
the same way. And last night, after everything we got done, and I was just listening to it, and that's what I was just thinking about, man. I was just in deep thought thinking about that stuff, and I'm like, it's really, it's just amazing, dude. I mean, there's so many talented musicians out there, but they put the heart and soul into music, and with words.
yeah, I do. Well, so let's get into this news story, man. I as much as I don't want to, we got to let everybody know what's going on and that we're just not blowing smoke up their hinds. But
Yeah.
U.S. shoots down an unidentified object that violated airspace over Canada. So, I mean, I don't know why Canada didn't handle this on their own. Let's make this a little bit bigger for our viewers at home. Maybe, I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I could probably do this too. Bing, 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 bong, bing, bong. There we go. A little bit bigger. U.S. shoots down unidentified object violated airspace over Canada. NORAD is watching one of two new airborne objects that could be additional spy balloons nearing American airspace. They also did a NOTAM, reportedly, did a NOTAM over Montana, and we'll get into that information in a minute. So this would make, if that's confirmed, which, it sounds like it's confirmed, and tied in with that TFR, that would make 4 in a 10-day period, right?
Yeah.
That are
See a
potentially
pattern?
have to be shot down, right? And so the U.S. military jet shot down an unidentified airborne object over Canada's Yukon territory Saturday as President Biden's administration continued to remain mum about the mysterious intruder brought down in Alaska the previous day. Canada closed its airspace over part of the Yukon at around 4:50 p.m. due to an active air defense operation. And 5 minutes later, Prime Minister Trudeau confirmed that he ordered
He's got no backbone,
that he
man.
ordered
I know.
the takedown of an unidentified object that violated Canadian airspace. Canadian
Right.
and U.S. aircraft were scrambled, and U.S. F-22 successfully fired at the object. Trudeau tweeted, "Why didn't they send something from Canada, man?" I know
Well,
why.
they don't.
I'll tell you why. Okay,
They want to stay passive. They want
right.
to stay
I'll
passive.
tell you why. No, it's
Right.
because every continent has one, and over in Europe they have the French, and they're just kind of just a bunch of, I don't know. They don't want to engage non-conflict, right? And I want to say that Canada is North America's equivalent of the Pansy French. No offense to my French friends, but you know what I'm saying. But like you got people who do, and you got people who sit back and watch, right? And so, but it's amazing that we're using U.S. taxpayer and military. And I'm being facetious, right? Because Canada, we share a border with them. We share a landmass with them. So if
Sure.
something were to
Yeah.
happen there, it would be happening here. And obviously, fuel lines, pipelines, and stuff also come from where, right?
Yeah. Canada. Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it's paramount to our national infrastructure. So I'm being facetious. Please don't get mad. What's this? Jason Falkenberry says MUFON is claiming it's a Tic Tac, haha, and a second just shot down in northern Canada. That's what we're talking about right now. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yukon territory.
the first
Yeah.
one was the one that flew and completed mission all the way across the United States, right? Second one was the one in Alaska. Third one was northern Canada, and they say that there's a fourth one over Montana right now, which Montana's. I don't know if I got to tell you what's in that area of our country, if you know anything about this, right? The Pentagon. He revealed no information about the nature of the object or where its wreckage landed. Pentagon Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder said that the object had been detected over Alaska late Friday and was tracked by U.S. and Canadian military aircraft as it crossed into Canadian airspace, then taken down by an AIM-9X missile fired by an American jet. Oh, look at there. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's just another Chinese balloon, man. I don't know. It might not even be Chinese at this point. It could just be, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. One can speculate, but yeah, the other one that has been detected, and we'll go over here. It came out on the Twitters, and check your sources and all that jazz. Central Montana NOTAM states National Defensive Airspace. Update FAA statements. The FAA closed some airspace in Montana to support Department of Defense activities. Contact NORAD for additional information. Matt Rosendale, Representative Rosendale, said he's in direct contact with NORCOM and monitoring the latest issue over Havre and the northern border. Airspace is closed due to the object that could interfere with commercial aircraft. The DoD will resume efforts to observe and ground the object in the morning. So, if that's true, dude, that's 4. That's 4 in a 10-day period. Obviously, data collection. Potentially
Absolutely.
could be even worse, though, right? Could potentially be worse.
Yeah. Well, they smell weakness,
Well,
That's
and
what they
that's
smell.
yeah.
That's
weak
just
leaders.
China.
You
Now,
got weak leaders. You got buffoons running everything.
Yeah.
That's a national security threat, y'all.
wait till Kim Jong-un gets cranked up in North Korea,
Oh yeah, well,
Taiwan's
they fired
Taiwan's gonna go.
off the ICBM platform. It wasn't loaded, right? But they did a show of force. When was that? Yesterday or the day before? Shot it off in the Pacific Ocean, right? Show of force. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I can't remember the last time we actually test fired an ICBM platform.
Yeah, it's getting out of control. I believe China's going to make a run at Taiwan. I have no doubt. They're going to strong arm that baby,
Yeah.
and that's it. They're just going to manhandle it. They've seen it, and they know we don't have the leadership and the capabilities,
Over more news, I guess, according to our national infrastructure, there was concerns about people taking pop shots at transformers and electric, trying to affect the problem with the electric grid. That was a few weeks ago, but there's also declared state of emergency over in Nevada over a fuel pipeline leak. Kinder Morgan gas pipeline providing Las Vegas with 90% of its fuel was shut down to repair a leak. Governor Joe Lombardo declared a state of emergency Friday, urging affected residents to avoid panic buying of gasoline. Might want to make sure you fuel your gas tanks at least full. I always like to say in these times when you don't know what's going to happen, half is empty, right?
Yeah.
And so that might be an indicator, but we know that everybody is reliant on fuel or energy of some sorts to either charge your electric vehicle or power your vehicle. And if pipelines are starting to magically get leaks during these unknown times, I don't know. I would just say have a prepared mind and say, I might want to make sure that my vehicles actually have a full tank.
Well, the Nord Stream was self-inflicted.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
But there is people
allegedly.
questioning that Nord Stream pipeline, the Nord Stream 2. We brought that up last night. There is news articles,
Right.
and I don't want to rehash that, but
Nope.
again, are we the baddies? Possibly, maybe. I don't know. I don't believe we are, but I believe that there's some bad actors in high levels of.
Well, if
agencies.
we're not involved with, then you need to have a spokesperson come out and say that. Seeing that they're not coming out and saying anything leads people to believe otherwise. So.
Well, and the White House secretary did make a comment, but I think it was that they weren't going to comment.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So this is another one, food for thought, man. Is if as we get into these unknown times and these acts of aggression are ramped up, and borders people are still pouring in at the borders. We may be into a situation, man.
We're getting it from all sides.
Real quick. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh man, news that you don't need, but you probably do.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. We've got. Let's see. We went over that one. So we brought up the DNC thing last night. Well, lo and behold, man. The FBI has also come under scrutiny after leaked documents show the Bureau warning that radical traditionalist Catholics pose an extremist threat. So here's not 2 times in a week, but we've got political or politicized agencies targeting religious freedoms of people.
Right.
And thank goodness for whistleblowers, right? Kyle Seraphin, a former FBI special agent and federal whistleblower, obtained a document from the Bureau's field office in Richmond, Virginia, and published it on the Uncovered DC website. The seal of the FBI hangs in the flag room. That's a photo. Documents titled Interest of Racially or Ethnically Motivated Violent Extremists in Radical Traditional Catholic Ideology almost certainly presents mitigation opportunities. The FBI in Richmond discusses monitoring racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists. Oh, yeah, Mark, I'm sure we're on some list somewhere too. And their interest in so-called radical traditionalist Catholics, or RTCs. The memo notes that FBI investigations have found that there's a growing overlap between the far-right white nationalist movements and RTCs. The January 23rd document claims that RTCs are a small minority of the Catholic Church. They adhere to anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant, and anti-LGBTQ and white supremacy ideological values, while preferring the traditional Latin Mass. The memo, Latin Mass. So wait a minute, is this white nationalism or is this Catholic nationalism? Is it Latin? like you see the hypocrisy in the crap that they write.
Right.
It's all over the place. It's word salad vomit, and they got people who subscribe to it.
Right.
Also
Taxpayer
included in the
dollars
memo
used.
was a list of Catholic organizations that defined as hate groups by civil rights advocates in the Southern Poverty Law Center. Include Catholic Apologetics International and in Pennsylvania and the South and the Immaculate Heart of Mary in New Hampshire. The FBI has since confirmed at several news sites that it had removed the document from its systems because it doesn't meet the exacting standards of the FBI. No, you removed it because you got caught.
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't for one thing. I mean, if you're watching these oversight hearings and you're hearing these whistleblowers testify in front of Congress, they're basically saying this is not the FBI that I was raised in. This is not the FBI that I worked in several years ago. It's a politicized entity.
Right.
I don't know, bro.
Well, we know
2
what
times
needs
in
to
a
be
week,
done.
though, religious freedoms are getting trampled or targeted by politicized or political leaders.
And this is why I know people get frustrated. Oh, the Twitter files, blah, blah, blah. But this is information that's being provided out of Twitter files that's opening the door to see what's really behind the curtain here, man.
Yep. And then on top
there's
of it, you've got the whistleblowers coming out in support of what came out with the Twitter files and stuff, saying, yes, I saw this behavior specifically, right? These directives were being given out. This is actively happening. Right?
Targeting religion, man.
Yeah.
It's
Targeting
just
First
insane.
Amendment protected, First Amendment constitutionally protected activities, man.
Right. Unbelievable.
Well, in other news, CDC adds COVID-19 vaccinations to the immunization schedules for children and adults. We are going to do a poll on our page, and we're going to ask people what their thoughts are on this. Would you, because it's on the immunization schedule, would you get your kid this? Given the amount of the overwhelming amount of data of injuries and suddenly died younger people, pericarditis, myocarditis, heart problems, inflammation, strokes, you name it. Is it wise for us to take something with no long-term data?
Yeah.
And just start giving it to our kids? I don't know. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on it are.
Here's my problem with this. We were kids. I know we had MMR, measles, mumps, rubella. We had our vaccinations and stuff like this. What we know now about these shots is they're not safe. So they leave it open to interpretation by the states or the local chapter. So if they make it mandatory, you might not be able to go to, unless you have a legitimate reason, a religious exemption or something else, you're out of luck.
Well, I remember the swine flu stuff that was going around. I think it was H1N1. When they were doing a vaccine for that, right? Because it was a unique strain. I think it was like a very small percentage. Like it was like 1 or 2 during their testing, right? Like 1 or 2 people had passed. And
Yep.
that was enough to pull that vaccine. What
Right.
they have masked, they've masked so much data on this, right?
Right.
And,
Well,
and
they
so,
want three. You want three shots, man. 3 shots in some cases for these kids. I mean, the data that's been provided. I think the VAERS data wasn't specifically. It was more focused for these pharmaceutical companies than anybody, right?
okay.
To see their liability exposure was probably the biggest thing.
But
It
there
really
is
worked.
no liability exposure. They made sure they did that whenever the government,
Right.
the CDC, brought this into the mix.
Yeah.
So that's basically telling me that we have a material flaw with this way the CDC does business. And on top of it, you got people, the CDC is putting patents on this stuff, so they're actually making profit for the more stuff that they recommend.
Right.
On top of, so again, conflict of interest much. And then,
Yeah.
when you got Fauci's wife working for, the ethics division of the CDC, was she not going to tell hubby that he's doing something wrong? Like, I don't know, putting beagles in little tents and letting ants eat their face off and stuff, or fly. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Oh, and they were barking too much. So, you know what? Let's take care of that little problem and clip them vocal cords, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody's wife could say, yeah, he operated ethically. Sorry, buddy. There's probably grounds for divorce, for real.
Yeah. Well, he dropped off
Or
the
recommended you go get some freaking, some committed time in a, padded room, if you just think that this is, it's science. I am science.
I'm not on board with any of this stuff, but you're right. We should put a survey out there to see what their thoughts are.
I'm curious what their thoughts are. I'm curious if you think this is good for the country, given the amount of data. Do you know the data? Does anybody really actually know the data, or is they just, have they had their head in the sand as well? Right? There's a wealth of data out there about this. All it takes is for you to start looking a little bit. Pfizer didn't want to release any data regarding this. What was it, for 60 years, I thought?
Yeah, it was 50-something years.
50,
yeah, almost
60 years, right?
Yeah.
They didn't want any
because they knew
data.
everybody would be dead by then.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, man. You should be like, if, and again, I don't know, is this stuff actually like approved, or is it still under the emergency approval? I can't, from my mind, think that it's approved, right?
No,
I think it's still under the emergency use.
FDA tests drugs all the time. Sometimes it takes 7 years to get them through. This was.
I'd like to see an insert from this, right? Does this just say these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration? It's like you do with your multivitamins. It says, this increases, I don't know, vitamin D intake, or strengthens your bone density because it's got calcium in it and stuff. But then you got that little tiny text. These statements haven't been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, blah, 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 blah. Like in real tiny text that nobody's reading in those inserts anyway, right? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, it probably is because they want to absolve themselves of any liability, right? So I'm sure they did that.
Yeah, maybe that's something we can do, man. NWA Exchange Investigate. We'll go down to like Walgreens, man, and we'll say, hey, you guys got the COVID vaccinations? Yeah, can we get some of the inserts from those? Like, I want to see one. I want to see what let me see the packaging insert.
Right.
I want to see it for myself. I've heard stories, but I want to see it for myself.
Right.
Who knows?
That's a good point. Good point.
Oh, brother. I don't know. What a tangled world we live in. What a crazy world we live in. So, also, that Christian, or I'm sorry, that Catholic national and stuff, the video portion of that article, they had, everybody was saying like Trump was racist because he was using like this hand thing, right? This video also referenced that hand gesture, but I can reference the same hand gesture of Obama doing this countless times through his presidency. Countless times. Yep. Look at that. I mean, he's doing it all over the place. Look, there's one right here. Obama shares new. I mean, come on, dude. Are we really saying that somebody that does this is part of an extremist group? Where is journalism gone? Where's it gone?
Journalism's gone, buddy.
It's dead, man. It's dead, y'all.
How many news stations are bringing up what we're talking about right now? Right?
Very little. Very little. Oh, well, I think that's kind of the latest updates that I got. Anything you got or want to talk about, brother? I know the Super Bowl's tomorrow. Who you guys rooting for? Also, don't forget to like this stream, share this stream,
Yeah, appreciate that.
subscribe, follow our
Oh,
page, all that good jazz. 'Cause we may give away free stuff one night, maybe tonight. We don't know.
yeah. Yeah. One thing I was gonna say to you was, I don't know if you noticed that, but the federal government has promised Tesla they were going to give them $8.5 billion to have access to the charging stations.
They're going to
Tesla's got
charge
their
him,
own.
or they're going to
No,
give
no,
him.
they want to pay him.
Mhm.
So then that'll give Chevy, Ford, other
So they
manufacturers
want to
access
pay
to
him how much for his charging stations?
8.5 billion to have access to all the charging stations across the country. So every other manufacturer besides Tesla would have
I
access
thought
to
Elon
that.
was the baddie, though. I thought he was a baddie.
I know. I just thought the irony. You know what I mean? Just, well, the taxpayers will foot another bill, man.
Yeah.
I just saw
That's a
that come
lot of
through, and I was
coin,
like,
man, just to be able to
yeah.
plug in. I guess, I mean, you're plugging it on the road, though, but
Well,
oh, man, sounds pretty
and a lot
lucrative.
of well, a lot of Tesla people are pissed off because they're like, hey, we bought this because of the exclusivity and having access to at all times, and people that purchase Teslas
And
have
we're
that.
talking about a wall outlet, bro. I mean,
I know.
it's
I'm
a
just saying.
specialized wall outlet, but it's a
Yeah,
wall outlet.
but if you extrapolate that across every major manufacturer to use it,
Yeah.
the access is going to start being limited, right?
Oh, well, you think the pumps get stacked up, man, in like a. I can remember I was coming.
Don't they?
I was getting ready to return the rental car, and I stopped in DC to get fuel, which was ridiculously expensive. Then I was dropping off the car at the airport and stuff, but it was so packed just trying to get fuel, and like, I can imagine it's probably even worse for people with an electric vehicle, right? It's like if
Yeah,
you have to charge.
I haven't been over to XNA, so I don't know if they have any charges over there. If anybody's
I
been
don't
over
know.
there, if they have if
I
they have
know
chargers over there.
I know the KNWA building has some charges, and I believe even what's it called? Oh, it's in Bentonville. It's that big bike. Is it Bentonville Brewer or Bike Rack Brewing's there? And I think Yayo's Tacos there. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's off of 8th Street Market, right?
Okay. Yeah.
They got some chargers out there at 8th Street Market too. So
Yeah, I'd like to know anybody has an electric vehicle out there. Where do they primarily?
I want to know who's got electric vehicles. I want to drive one, man. I want to see. Like, I just want to see what it's like, man. You know,
I
like
did. I had. Well, I used to get the ones, and I hated them. The ones out of the airport in Charlotte and different areas, but they were hybrids.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know
Those are
if you're
still
okay.
gotta. I want to try. I want to try out like a freaking straight up.
Well,
Like,
it
I
would
hear
run
about the
electric.
torque and all that. The torque of the electric motors and like the Teslas and stuff.
But here's
I
my
want to go for a ride, man. I've never
yeah,
been
but
in one.
my problem was, well, when the hybrids, you did the same thing. It's just that when it got down low, then it would kick it over to the the gas.
You
But
telling me that a Prius will freaking launch like a Tesla, though, man? Like that?
no,
No way.
no, it wasn't a Prius. I had what the hell was it? It was
Leaf?
a Ford or a Chevy.
Okay. The Flex or something like that, or
Yeah, I think it was. A matter of fact, I think it was. But in any event, the thing that made me crazy was the fact that like I was in like 3 or 4 lanes of traffic and I'd stop, right? And be running. And I couldn't hear the engine. So I was like freaking, man. I was like,
yeah. You
"This
gotta have
thing
like
gonna
a
start with the
speaker or
gas?"
something that lets the subwoofer there just vibrating on the
Yeah,
so
man.
you feel
It
something.
was just I didn't like that, man. I mean, I like combustible engines and be able to hear the noise, and that was the thing that freaked me out. I
My
mean, I was
buddy
like,
Troy had this. I think it was a Lexus. It was kind of like one of those like it would the motor would shut off, but then the motor would kick back on to charge when it needed it, right?
right,
And
right.
like
And
so
this
you would come to a stoplight. I remember driving his car one time. You'd
shuts
come to a
off, right?
stoplight. You'd be sitting there for a minute, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay,
Shut
is
off.
it running? It's like, you hit the gas and it moves, man. But you're just like, there's just something I don't know, man. You
So
know?
I would tell them, I actually had to put it in my notes. So when I get to rentals, I started, because I hated them. No electric vehicles I would put on there.
Oh, I mean,
Because I started,
I can get down with like a gas and electric, like the Prius style, right? I could be down with that because you're not limited to like, okay, my concerns with an electric vehicle is like, say you're stuck on I-40, right, in traffic,
Yep.
and what happens? Okay, There's an accident. It's wintertime. It's all iced up. You're stuck there. You ain't turning around and driving down the wrong way, right?
Right.
You're stuck
Right.
there, and that battery's sitting there trying to keep your ass warm.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think I have the biggest problem with.
Yeah,
There's
and
no
it's
idle,
coming.
man,
You know there's going to be issues like that. You'll see that in California when you have a big pile up or something, or Texas where they have a lot of electrical vehicles, and you're going to be screwed, But I didn't like them that much. I'll be honest with you, man. But yeah, I do like the 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. I'm all right with that, man.
I think they're a little quicker than that, bro. It's like some drag race style stuff, man, from back in the day. Like you would. I can remember people having to build up and spend a lot of money on like pro chargers to get some of these launch speeds from 0 to 60 and the quarter mile and stuff. That's something that you just plug into the wall. It's crazy.
Yeah, I would think most people have their own chargers, anyways. At their house or in the garage.
I want to test drive one though, man. I want to like. I just want to see what it's like. I mean, they look like nice little cars, man. I ain't got nothing against them, but like I said, my thing is I don't want to be dependent on a wall outlet.
Yeah, I just think it's weird. Even like I have an electric truck, man. I just think it's just not.
And then having to wait, like, okay, so like you're on a road trip, right? Like you want to drive, say you want to drive, I don't know, up to Minneapolis, right? You're looking at what, 10-hour drive.
You have to stop. You're gonna get
You
300
stop
miles
and get fuel, right? Well,
Right.
you got to stop and charge, right?
Right.
After 300, maybe 300 miles.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And especially in the wintertime, right? Maybe 300 miles because battery efficiency is depleted the colder it gets.
Well, that's what they're saying.
And the hotter it gets, you have those variables in there. So you have to stop and charge for an hour.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's what
if you're
they're
on a supercharger.
That's the complaint in colder environments, Minnesota, Wisconsin, areas like that, and upper parts of Northeast. They said, hey, sub-zero weather, it's not holding the charge. So you could potentially get stranded.
Man, there's only so much those things those batteries can handle before the actual chemical reaction just is inefficient,
Right.
And then on top of it, man, a battery pack, I think the last time I looked, it was like 15 to 20 grand to replace the battery pack on one of those suckers.
Yeah. We're all about
man,
green.
you can swap a motor. I mean, like you can go to U-Pull-It, man, or you can just order a crate motor, and
that's
drop it in a weekend for, I don't know, a couple thousand, right?
But everybody talks about a green world, a green environment. It's being hypocrites, man. Where do you think you're putting those batteries, dude, when they're toasted? How about that car that caught on fire? Where are you dumping that, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still got drone batteries. I'm like, what? I know what happens if one of these things gets exposed to oxygen, man. It's just bam, it's gonna burn up, right? But how do you dispose of? I don't know. Luckily, I ain't had none bulge up yet. But I mean, that thought's in my head. What do I do? Do I take it to? I guess I got to take it to an e-waste place or something. Or
everybody's trying to jump on it.
Or put it in the fire pit, man, and just take a BB gun and there's my fire starter, bro.
Well, and people aren't going to be able to afford this stuff, dude. I mean, people are barely making ends meet. You want them to buy a $40,000-$50,000 vehicle?
To be honest, man, these Teslas are running cheaper than the new GMCs and Fords, man. Gas powered and stuff. They're running a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah, but like you said, if you lose the battery or you have an issue, you're screwed, man. You're screwed. And the other thing is, if you have an issue, there's a limited amount of people that can work on those.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's there was a guy out there. He was basically, he was going down the road of doing right to repair for Teslas and these e-vehicles, basically. Because, and I think he actually he won a lawsuit because he's like, I need the access to repair my own Tesla because he bought like a lightly wrecked Tesla and then started purchasing parts from salvage yards but Tesla had flagged the vehicle, so he wasn't able to do software updates or say I've replaced this component. It was just totally locked down, and this is a problem across the industry when you got this much tech. Even John Deere tractors, right? So people are basically having to find ways to. It's even on the one wheel, man. The one wheel is the same way. The older model, people could. Swap
they don't want
out
you working on
packs,
it. Yeah?
They could swap out controllers. They could swap out hubs. On the new GT, which I primarily ride the GT, right? You're very limited on if you disconnect the battery on that thing from the controller, it bricks the board. That's it. It's an instant send back to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
There's one guy out there who's done some type of weird shunt thing to keep the controller from bricking. It's a power shunt. But man, dude, that's so specialized. It's so specialized.
Well, and it allows them to have, proprietary access to it, right? So they control when it needs to be fixed. Nobody else can touch it.
I think that there needs to be a limit on, like, if you spend X amount of dollars on a product, a consumer grade product, right? That you should have access to repair that product. Right to repair is a huge thing, especially in the farming industry, man. Like, it's the same thing with some of these big, $80,000, $90,000, $120,000 combine, right, that they're using. And they got a small part, like a little sensor went bad on there, and they're not allowed to repair that themselves because it requires constant connection to the ECU. And if you disconnect it, then the ECU flags of material failure, which means dealer only repair.
It's control, dude. It's all control. It's like you were saying before. You get access to it and you shut down the vehicle. Hey, wait a minute, Chris. You're behind on your fucking electric bill. Pardon my French. Yeah. You're behind your electric bill. We're going to shut you down.
Exactly. Or man, look, man, we didn't, for some reason, because you said something on Twitter, your bank account's been flagged and your car payment didn't get paid, and because your flag, they got your account on hold. Now you can't drive your car. He was like, denied. You just get in, you walk out, you push the button. No, you ain't going nowhere today, dude. You ain't going to work. You ain't going to the bank to resolve your issue,
food,
right?
No food, no car.
Exactly. Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll take a 1970 square body Chevy truck all day long, man, and I'll keep that sucker running until the freaking comet comes, man. We're all burnt up. I don't know, man.
Those Ford Pintos aren't looking too bad, are they?
Was it Wayne's World, man? Garth's Pinto. Was it Pinto or is it Gremlin? I think he had a Gremlin.
Gremlin, I think.
Gremlin, Pinto, same tomato, man. Yeah. But well, I think that's all I got, man. Unless we just want to open up the phone lines. I only got a few viewers watching tonight. I know everybody's probably getting primed for the Super Bowl. I hope you guys enjoy that. I don't know if I'll be tuning in or not. I may poke in every now and then and watch, but I'm just not a huge fan of the NFL anymore.
We'll have to do a survey on that too, man. We'll pop that in there. See who's going to win tomorrow. So see how the votes come in, and we'll go from there, man.
Yeah, exactly. Hope everybody has a great evening. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. I don't know. Maybe we'll pop in tomorrow. Maybe not. Maybe we'll pop in on Monday.
We might find some more balloons. You never know.
There may be some more balloons. You just got, I don't know. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, just another Chinese spy balloon.
All right, man.
Great times.
Have a good night. Appreciate you.
We'll catch you guys
Take
on the
care.
flip side. Be safe tomorrow. Don't drive drunk. Be nice to one another. Enjoy it. Later.
Take care. Bye.
I'm not afraid to take a stand, take a stand. Everybody, come take my hand, come take my hand. We'll walk this road together, through the storm, whatever weather, cold or warm. Standing up, you're not alone. If you feel like you've been down the same road.